I bought potatoes from 5 different grocery stores last week. Every single bag contained at least one sprouted potato. Some were already turning green, and according to food safety experts, eating just one of these could send you to the hospital. So why are stores legally allowed to sell them? Welcome back to Dish Decoded, where we expose the food industry's most dangerous lies. I'm your host, and today we're digging into the potato industry's toxic secret. Because while you're carefully reading nutrition labels and checking expiration dates, there's a natural poison sitting in your produce section that nobody's warning you about. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about what you're eating. Let's decode this. Let's start with the basics because the potato industry is betting you don't understand what's happening when a potato sprouts. When you see those shoots growing out of a potato, your instinct might be to cut them off and cook it anyway. How dangerous could it be? Here's what they're not telling you. That potato is a living plant. Even after harvest, it's still alive. When conditions are right, warmth, moisture, time, the potato tries to grow again. But here's the deadly part. As potatoes sprout, they produce solanine. Solanine is a glycoalkaloid toxin. Plants create it as defense against insects and animals. And unlike bacteria, solanine is heat stable. You can bake it, boil it, fry it, the toxin remains. Potatoes naturally contain small amounts of solanine even when fresh. But when potatoes sprout or turn green from light exposure, solanine levels spike 300% to 500%. The concentration is highest in the sprouts, the eyes where sprouts emerge, and the skin, especially green areas. So what happens if you eat too much? Initial symptoms include a bitter or burning taste. Then nausea, stomach cramps, vomiting, diarrhea. In severe cases, solanine can affect your nervous system. Headaches, dizziness, confusion, hallucinations. In 1983, 78 schoolboys in London got food poisoning from potatoes. In 1979, a woman in Canada died after eating green potatoes. This is a real danger. And yet, sprouted potatoes are for sale everywhere. Why? Because it's completely legal. Here's where the potato industry gets clever with language. The FDA has no legal limit for solanine levels in potatoes. No legal limit. There's a recommended threshold of 200 milligrams per kilogram, but it's not enforceable. The industry says properly stored potatoes have solanine around 50 to 100 milligrams per kilogram, which is considered safe. They'll tell you cooking reduces risk. They'll claim modern varieties produce less solanine. What they don't tell you, once potatoes sprout, those safe levels vanish. A Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry study found sprouted potatoes can contain solanine exceeding 1,000 milligrams per kilogram in affected areas, 5 times the safe threshold. But here's the kicker. The potato industry successfully lobbied to keep solanine testing optional. Stores aren't required to test potatoes. They're not required to remove sprouted ones, not required to warn you. I contacted 5 major grocery chains about their quality control. Only 2 responded with identical corporate speak. We follow industry best practices and FDA guidelines. That's not an answer, that's deflection. Let's talk about why sprouted potatoes are even making it to store shelves. Potatoes should be stored in cool, dark, dry environments at 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This slows sprouting and prevents solanine production. Commercial storage facilities know this. They have specialized climate-controlled warehouses designed to keep potatoes dormant for months. But once potatoes leave those controlled environments, all bets are off. Non-temperature controlled trucks, warehouses that prioritize space over climate, stores that leave potatoes under bright fluorescent lights. I documented potato displays at different stores for 3 weeks. 80% kept potatoes under bright lights, 60% stored them at room temperature or warmer, 40% had potatoes under heat, producing display lights, 30% had bags with visible condensation inside. These are the exact conditions that cause sprouting. Stores know it, but they don't care. Profit margins explain why. A 50-pound bag costs distributors $8 to $12. That's roughly 20 cents per pound. They sell to you for $1 to $3 per pound, a 500% to 1,500% markup. Even if stores throw away 20% of inventory, they're still making huge profits. So why invest in better storage? No legal requirement, no enforcement, no consequences. Now let's talk about how the potato industry has shifted blame onto you. Look up how to store potatoes and you'll find the same advice. Store in a cool, dark, dry place. Don't refrigerate. Use within 2 to 3 weeks. This is true, but conveniently incomplete. The average home doesn't meet these requirements. Most people don't have a root cellar or pantry at 45 degrees Fahrenheit. They have room temperature kitchen cabinets. Yet the industry packages potatoes in 5 or 10-pound bags, knowing most families can't use them fast enough. I ran an experiment with 3 identical 5-pound bags: kitchen cabinet, normal storage; basement, cooler, not climate controlled; wine fridge at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, ideal. After 2 weeks, kitchen cabinet, 60% sprouted; basement, 30% sprouted; wine fridge, 0% sprouting. The cool, dark place advice only works if you have one. For most people, home storage guarantees sprouting. When your potatoes sprout, who gets blamed? You. They've made potato poisoning your fault. Here's dangerous advice circulating online. Just cut off the sprouts and green parts and the potato is fine. The potato industry loves this because it reduces waste. Food bloggers repeat it because it sounds practical, but it's dangerously misleading. Yes, solanine concentrations are highest in sprouts and green areas, but the toxin doesn't stay neatly contained. Studies show solanine migrates through potato tissue as sprouting progresses. A University of California study found that in heavily sprouted potatoes, solanine levels were elevated throughout the entire potato. Peeling and trimming reduced the toxin load, but didn't eliminate it. There's no way for you to know how much solanine is in your potato. You can't see it, can't measure it, you can only guess based on appearance. And if you guess wrong, you get sick. The industry's advice should be, if it's sprouted or green, throw it away. But they won't say that because it hurts sales. So why hasn't the FDA stepped in? Why aren't there regulations? Because solanine poisoning is classified as rare. The potato industry argues that the number of reported cases is too low to justify regulation. But here's the problem. Most solanine poisoning cases are never reported. People get stomach cramps, throw up, feel terrible for a day, and assume it was food poisoning from something else. They don't go to the doctor. It never shows up in official statistics. The cases we know about are just the severe ones, the people who ended up in emergency rooms, the outbreaks that were impossible to ignore. For every documented case, there are likely dozens or hundreds of unreported incidents. But without hard data, the industry can keep claiming the problem doesn't exist. And without regulations, stores can keep selling sprouted potatoes with zero consequences. So, what's the solution? First, change how you buy. Stop buying 5 or 10-pound bags unless you use them. Buy smaller quantities more frequently. Second, inspect every potato before buying. Any green coloring? Reject. Sprouts or eyes starting to sprout? Reject. Soft spots or wrinkles? Reject. Lightweight for size? Reject. Third, store properly. Dark, cool, dry. No suitable place? Consider a small wine fridge. Fourth, check weekly. First sign of sprouting? Use immediately or throw out. Fifth, if a potato has sprouted, is green, smells off, or tastes bitter, throw it away. Don't try to save it. Potatoes are cheap. Your health isn't. The potato industry profits from selling you living plants that produce toxins, then blames you when things go wrong. They've avoided regulation by keeping poisoning cases just rare enough to ignore. But now you know. If this changed how you buy potatoes, hit that like button. Subscribe to Dish Decoded for more exposés. Comment what food you want investigated next. Until next time, stay skeptical.